What's good, everybody? This your boy C4. Once again, bringing you that uncut, unedited content from CFM Madden 18. This right here is my league, Thug Life, and I'm the Jets in it. This is week 4 preseason. Don't know why it's saying week 3 and big, but if you look at the top, right below the franchise, you see it says preseason 2017 week 4. So right now I'm just making my final adjustments before we advance to week 1 and get this season cracking. Now, the first video I made got blocked because I forgot to turn off the music from the game. So, and in that video I explained a lot that I was doing with the team and everything. But just a quick overall, everybody already know how the Jets is. Worst team in the game. You know, it's arguably out of them and San Fran. But as you can see right there, stinging your face, Mr. J.J. Watt made a blockbuster trade to get him, and I have Mr. Jameis Winston also. So for Jameis, you know, I gave up my first round pick, Bryce Petty and Bilal Powell for Jameis Winston and Doug Martin. I felt like that was probably an even trade, especially how they revamped the drafting process to where, like, you know, the first round picks are monsters. You know, and then like second round down, there's still good talent. Like, you know, you'll still find like a 79 overall player or 80, 81, you know, but for the most part, you know, I do give props to the dude that traded with me. You know, not everybody want to mess with the Jets, so, you know, shout out to him for that. So right now I'm just doing my equipment and position changes for the team. When they hit that 15-minute mark, I'll stop doing my changes and proceed to week 1. That's when the league starts. You know what? I'm gonna leave you like you is, Jameson. I'm gonna just give you some gloves. And yeah, I still got Hackenberg as my backup. Their age not too far apart, 22, 23. Doug Martin, yeah, he 28, but I felt like it's a good investment for what I had. You know, all I had was Forte and Bilal Powell, which ain't really that good. Change his number. I don't like a number like that. That look like something for somebody that plays defense or something. They should retire that number, man. 24, dog. Shout out to Revis Island. And for anybody that's watching, you know, if you've been watching my streams long enough, you know I'm a diehard New England Patriots fan. I despise the Jets, but I'm a football fan before anything else, and I always give respect to those dudes that make the league worth watching, you know, that make people tune in every week to say, oh, I want to see this person play or that person play, you know. So right here you see I'm making Vincent Jackson a tight end. I'll show you his attributes once again. And as a receiver, he was an 80 overall. Now he's a 90 overall as a tight end. And one of the rules I have for my league, you can't just do this with any receiver. They have to be at least 230 pounds, because I've looked. That's one thing I always do. I check the league to see who is like the smallest true tight end, you know, that plays that position. And with that, I made that the minimum to where a wide receiver can play a tight end, because there's a lot of hybrids. You know, everybody know that that's where the league is going to now. It's a lot of hybrid players, and yeah. So let me check right quick how many players I have to cut, because in my last video I did a lot of cuts. So I might be at the mark already. I should be either at 53 or below, at 52. So that's good. So I don't have to stress making the roster limit right now. Now I can really just position my team the way I want to. And for this lineup, I know some of you guys that's watching like, why he got JJ Watt at DT. Well, for one, this was my starting DT. Look at his block share, 6-9. I don't understand what happened to Wilkerson, but you know, he's too expensive to cut, like too expensive. So I'll just keep him on the team for the time being, and I'll just see how he performs. You know, sometimes, you know, in Madden, players play better than their attributes say. So I'll see how it works for him. And one thing I know about CFM, the further you go down, the further you go in it, like years wise, and players that's on those big contracts, the penalty goes down. So I could wait him out. You know, he's 27, but you know, I got JJ Watt for, I think, for the next 4 years. 5. So that's perfect. That's perfect. And the other thing too, like I explained in my other video, I love formation subs. So even though he's at D tackle default wise, in formation subs, I could put him wherever I want. I could put him at right end, left end. You know, sometimes I might just want to be very creative and put him at outside linebacker. Like, that's the type of athlete JJ Watt is, and I believe that he can play all that positions. Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he is one of the few defensive linemen that has great catching because of that year he had. Let me see. Yeah, 78 catching, 71 spec, 70 catching traffic. Let me see his zone. His zone is garbage. But for those moments when I do put him at outside linebacker, you know, his play recognition, like for those screens and stuff, he can snatch that. He has enough catching. Because I remember the threshold is 75 and his catching is 78, so you know, watch out for JJ on those screens. This is a guy I picked up in free agency. It's not a long-term solution, you know, just a short-term thing. Is because I really got him because of his speed and his athleticism. You know, 87 speed, 87 acceleration, 88 jumping. You know, I could use him as a user. I could, you know, he could be like a nice user linebacker for me, you know, in certain situations. So but again, just a 1 year thing. Found him in free agency, really. Just a 1 year thing with him. Most likely I'll be drafting a linebacker. Nah, I do it like that. Something different. As far as defense, I think my weakest position right now, because of the trade I did to get JJ Watt, is my strong safety position. Yeah, I traded Jamal Adams. I traded Jamal Adams and a defensive lineman for JJ Watt. So that's gonna be a position where I'm gonna have to pay attention to. I might try like different players out there. Like, okay, like this guy, I picked him up in free agency for that reason. You know, I'm gonna put him at free safety. Make that player type playmaker. What's that shoulder pads? Put that sleeveless. And boom, he looks like a safety. Then I'll take Marcus May with that beautiful 87 hit power and put him at strong safety. So for now, that concludes my equipment and player position changes. It's 11:45. It's been 15 minutes since the last advance. Let's get this season started.